You know how we always say verbs are the backbone of a sentence? Well, today we're really going to see why that is.
Mm.
We'll do a deep dive into when to use 20 of the most common English verbs.
Right. You know how sometimes you look up a word in the dictionary and it just doesn't quite click, like when you actually use it?
Yeah.
We've got some material here that gives us real examples of how these verbs work in specific situations, and that's going to help make it all much clearer, I think.
Okay, so let's jump right in. First up, we've got verbs that deal with describing states and identities. And what's more basic than the verb to be?
Right.
Like, she is a doctor,
Hmm.
or she is tired. This is straight from our sources, by the way.
Yeah, and it's interesting because then you've got the verb look, which also describes a state, but it's all about appearance. Like, she looks happy today.
Right, so it's what you can actually see.
Exactly. Like, you could say, she is angry, and that suggests more of an internal feeling.
Mm-hmm.
But if you say, she looks angry, that's based on what you're observing.
Ah, I see. Okay, so moving on. Let's talk about verbs that deal with possession and actions. Have is pretty straightforward. It shows ownership.
Yeah.
They have a new car.
Yeah.
Done.
Uh-huh. Then you've got do, which is more about general actions or tasks.
Okay.
I do my homework every evening. You know,
Yes.
those everyday things.
Right.
Then there's work, which is all about performing labor. They work hard.
Okay, and last in this group, we've got use, which implies employing something for a purpose.
Yeah, like I use my phone
Yeah,
to check the news or something like that.
exactly. I see what you mean about the context making all the difference.
Absolutely.
Okay, how about verbs for communication?
All right, let's see. So we use say to report someone's words directly.
Right.
He says he will come.
Okay.
We use tell to convey information or to like tell a story.
Right, like he tells us stories about his travels.
Exactly. And then there's ask for requesting information.
Oh, right.
I ask for directions.
Okay, so these verbs are all about how we share information.
Exactly. And you know the difference between say and tell is subtle.
Yeah, I've always struggled with that one.
Tell usually means you're directing that information to someone specific. So you say something, but you tell it to someone.
Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Okay, let's move on to verbs about movement and direction. There are quite a few of those in our list.
Right.
So we use go for movement away from our current location. We go to the market.
Okay.
Come implies movement towards the speaker or a specific place, like he comes home after work.
Right, right. Then there's take, which often involves receiving something or moving it away.
She takes the book.
Right. And give is kind of the opposite. It's about transferring something to someone.
Okay.
He gives her a gift.
And then we have get, which seems to be all over the place. Like you can get a cold or get a
Yeah.
taxi or even get tired.
Yeah, so it really depends on the situation.
So go and come are about perspective. Take and give are about the direction of transfer. And you just got to figure that one out based on what's going on.
Exactly.
All right. Moving on to verbs that describe our mental states. We use know to express knowledge or understanding.
I know the answer.
Exactly.
We use think to express an opinion or a belief. I think it's a good idea.
And we use want to express desire. They
Exactly.
want a vacation.
Uh-huh. These are all about what's going on in our heads.
Right. And finally, let's wrap up with verbs of perception and creation.
All right.
So see can be literal, like I see the mountains. But it
Yeah.
can also be more figurative, like I see your point.
Right.
Find implies we discover or locate something. She finds her keys.
Okay.
And we use make when we create or construct something.
You make beautiful pottery.
Exactly. It's fascinating how all these verbs connect us to the world around us and how we experience it.
Yeah, it really is.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it's clear that understanding when to use these common verbs is about so much more than just grammar rules. It's about being able to express yourself clearly and accurately.
Yeah, it's about choosing the right tool for the job.
Exactly. I mean, think about it. When you're speaking or writing, do you ever stop to think about why you choose a specific verb and how that one word can totally change the meaning of what you're trying to say?
That's a good point. I know I probably don't do it as often as I should.
Food for thought, right?